Alex, congrats to you and the team for founding and running Moonfare to this point. How did it come about?
Well, look, Moonfare is a new business. We launched just 9 months ago, commercially. The idea of Moonfare has come probably 3 years ago. So Stefan Powell's one of our partners and board members. He was 12 years with KKR. After leaving the firm, he realized that he had no more access to KKR's funds at low minimums and low fees. And we quickly realized that it wasn't only Stefan's problem, but it was a problem that most individual investors have, no access to private equity. And I have enormous respect for the speakers that just went out before us, and they're disrupting digital banking. But let me tell you, the private equity opportunity and the market we're disrupting today is huge. If I put that into perspective, if you look at a portfolio of institutional investors, these are sovereign wealth funds, pension funds, they typically invest 25% of their portfolio in private equity. Now, if you look at the individual's portfolio, an average individual investor, less than 5% is invested in private equity. Just think about it for a second. 25% for the people that have access and are in the know, institutional investors, 5% for individuals. If you think in numbers, we're talking about a discrepancy and hence a market opportunity for us of $3 trillion globally.
3 trillion?
Yeah, 3 trillion globally is the market that individual investors don't have access to. And we're talking about 5 million investors alone in Europe. It's a massive opportunity, and it's simply not fair. And we're the only ones that do that in Europe today. And we want to help people invest in the asset class that over the past 40 years has performed best across other asset classes.
So I'm not sure it's clear to everyone what Moonfare exactly does, but you've mentioned access a couple of times. Is that it?
Look, access is very important, and Moonfare is a technology company that helps individual investors and their advisors get access to the best performing private equity funds globally. The special sauce here, the secret sauce is that big funds like the KKRs, the Warburg Pincus's of this world, only have 10 million minimum class investment allocations for their funds. So effectively, most individual investors are locked out of that asset class. With technology, what we're able to do today is we aggregate small individual investors into feeder funds, and hence we help them invest in the large PE funds. Put numbers again, 10 million minimums, we're reducing that to 100,000. We reduce fees from 2-3% per year to 0.5% per year. And most importantly, we build a technology platform that within 15 minutes, an investor can sign up and subscribe to the private equity fund of his preference. So in a nutshell, it's a very big market. We work only with the best funds. We only have 8 to 10 funds any given year. We decrease minimums to 100,000, and we reduce fees to 0.5%. Wow. And all of that with a technology platform that takes 15 minutes.
That's impressive. Big numbers, big names. You seem to have figured out the business model, and who's behind that?
Look, behind is a team, yeah. And when I think about team, I think of layers. I think of the operating team. We're now 40 people in Berlin, in Switzerland, in London. But most importantly, I also think about our senior advisors, our board of directors, and our shareholders. And we've been very intentional early on to hire only A+, and I'm a strong believer that A+ breeds A+. And we also think as a team that people like doing business with people they like and trust. And in our industry, trust is paramount. Yeah. So if you look at 9 months of operations, but we've already attracted world-class talent in our operating team. Our head of engineering and head of operations are both from leadership positions of Delivery Hero. Our head of legal and compliance was in Silicon Valley with AngelList. Our head of private equity was with Apex and then an executive with JP Morgan. Our head of people and culture came from Amazon Europe, where she had a leadership position. These are all world-class talented people working with Moonfare today. This is the operating team. Take a look at our shareholders and our senior advisors, and they're all on the website. Stefan Powell, I mentioned my partner, 12 years with KKR. We have on board the former chairman of Allianz Capital Partners. We have on board actually one of your former bosses, the former chairman of BC Partners.
Yeah, I heard
you know, these are all individuals that are spending their time, their energy, and their days helping Moonfare. And they would have better things to do if they didn't believe Moonfare was a big opportunity. And maybe important, so much so that we did an extended seed round this summer. We want to raise 5 million. And that insider group of people came in, private equity executives, people in the ins of the industry. Within 2 weeks, we upsized the round from 5 million to 10 million. We were 2 times oversubscribed, and we ended up bringing 40 shareholders of that exact network supporting Moonfare. And we took no institutional money, we took no VC money in that round. It's all insiders, 40 individuals from Europe and Asia.
Sounds great. So I left BC as a senior partner, 14 years in the industry. I love private equity. I really believe in the ability of private equity outperforming public markets in the long term. But I've been confined to investing with BC Partners because that's the only program I can get in, like the friends and family program of these guys. Otherwise, you've got minimums of 20 million. How is that possible? I mean, I now go to the website and I basically get access to all these funds?
Yeah. Look, you're a prime customer because you understand private equity. I would actually say most people in the audience today would qualify as potential investors through Moonfare to some of the leading private equity funds in the world. Actually, to coincide with Noah, we've been working very hard for the past 2 months to launch our new market, which is the UK. And we're privileged to announce it today. So I invite everyone that is based in the UK to go on moonfare.com and sign up as a UK resident or citizen and very quickly get access to the private equity funds of his preference. And you know, Germany was in the summer. We now are launching the UK. Before year end, we're going to launch Switzerland and so on and so forth. Great.
So where do you stand in terms of traction? I mean, I hear countries, I hear large numbers. How do you define success?
Look, everything we've been talking about is now feel-good stuff. At the end of the day, it's numbers. Yeah? And the basic KPIs speak for themselves. We raised 10 million for EQT's Asia strategy in Q1. Then we raised 20 million for EQT's flagship European strategy. We just closed Carlyle's 30 million US buyout fund. We're now raising for Warburg Pincus. We went from 10 to 20 to 30 in less than 9 months. We now manage 60 million of assets under management. We're adding about 300,000 of additional AUM on a daily basis. We have 1,000 registered investors on our platform. And for me, it's much more, we will be at 100 million by end of year. Yeah? So in 1 year of operation, our AUM will be 100 million. For me, it's much more about when we reach our 1 billion mark. And to put it in perspective, it took Blackstone about 10 years to reach their 1 billion, to raise their first 1 billion fund. It took Charles Schwab, one of the large brokers in the US, 7 years to reach 1 billion of assets under management. And the way Moonfare is growing today, we expect to be in less than 3 years there, 1 billion.
I mean, beating Blackstone and Charles Schwab, I think that's a strong target.
Yeah, that wasn't what I implied, but
yeah.
It's just looking at the fast growth that we're seeing in the business today.
No, and I think the target's great. You know, you said 3 years' time. What about the next 12 months? Anything on the horizon? Anything we should know here?
Look, many things. We've just gotten started. There's a lot of innovation, a lot of product technology innovation that people don't understand, and you'll see much more of that coming in the next year. In the short term, what you can expect is more top-tier funds and top-tier brands. We've been very fortunate to date to be working with EQT, with Carlyle, with Warburg Pincus. These are all big brand names, and they're our partners. We're also extremely selective on our diligence. So as I said before, you will never see 100 funds on our platform. We're not crowdfunding. That's not our business model. We do very careful diligence. And what we expect is we have a distribution list. Our distribution list is effectively the 1,000 investors we currently have on the platform. In 2019, most of the funds that we bring on board are going to be exclusively through our distribution list. So if anyone on the audience is interested to find out at least what funds are coming on our platform, I invite people to sign up, moonfare.com/Noah. Just for today, you can be added on our preferred distribution list, or just send us an email on investments@moonfare.com.
Alex, thanks very much. Good luck for Moonfare and your team.
Thank you very much. Thanks.